Ask the Doctor with Michael Lange begins in 10 seconds.
When it comes to your health, are you seeing the check engine light come on more than normal? It's time to get under the hood. It's time for Ask the Doctor with Dr. Michael Lange. Sponsored by Lange Eye Institute and Fortify Vitamins. Dr. Lange is a board-certified optometric physician and certified nutrition specialist, helping people see and feel better through proper nutrition for 25 years. The doctor is in. Call now with your questions at 877-969-8600. That's 877-969-8600. Here's your host, Dr. Michael Lange.
Okay, good morning and welcome to Ask the Doctor. I'm your host as usual, Dr. Michael Lange of the Lange Eye Institute and Fortify Vitamins, here each and every Saturday morning live. And if you got a question, give us a call. It's 1-877-969-8600. That's 1-877-969-8600. I'm back in the saddle today. A lot of you, we've run a tape for the last couple of weeks, and a lot of you don't like that. So, you know, I was at Tulane at a football game. My daughter's at Tulane, helping my brother out with some medical problems. You know, all is good now. So we're back in the saddle. This is live. It's the day before my birthday. September 15th is a great day, right? And so day before my birthday, we're live. This is September 14th, 2024. We got a great show ahead of you today. We're going to talk about macular degeneration. We're going to talk about what we can do to help maybe prevent your dry form of macular degeneration turning into the wet form. And we're going to talk about an early detection mode as well. And what I want to do, first of all, I want to say hello to Dr. Summerton. Good morning, Dr. Summerton.
Good morning. I'm actually calling here. I'm close to Kings Bay, Georgia. I'm visiting my son for the weekend. And I want to say hi to all the callers and listeners and also wish you an early happy birthday.
Well, thank you, Susan. That's very nice. And we've got a very welcome guest in the studio with us, Kenny Frye, who's the Territory Account Manager for Notal Vision. And we're going to be talking about a new early detection device for macular degeneration called the Foresee Home. And it's something that us at the Lange Eye Institute, we were involved in some very early preliminary, rollout of this product. And I got to tell you, we're real excited about utilizing, and I want to take this opportunity to welcome Kenny to Ask the Doctor. Good morning, Kenny.
Good morning. Happy early birthday.
Thank you very much. Tell me a little bit about your role at Notal Vision.
Yeah, well, I came over to the company a couple years ago from a pharma company where I worked in dry eye and working specifically with optometry. And so this device has been out for a little while, and it was specifically in retina for the first part of the journey, I suppose. But then we realized that the primary care physician space with optometry is really where it was. So they brought me over a couple years ago to, I run Florida, all of Florida, parts of Alabama, and just, kind of wherever. But Florida is the main focus because macular degeneration, obviously, we're the capital of that. So my job is to go out and talk to doctors about the technology that's available to them now and for this disease, because early detection, as you talked about, or have mentioned, is the key. We want to catch any conversions from dry to wet macular degeneration as quickly as possible, because the longer it goes, the more of their visual acuity, their eyesight they lose. And so our job is to spread the good news to the optometric world as well as ophthalmology, and to get as many patients helped as we possibly can.
Absolutely. And that's called the Foresee Home Macular Degeneration Monitoring Program. And we're going to dive into the meat of it a lot more during the show. But Dr. Summerton, from an optometric standpoint, primary eye care physicians at the Lange Eye Institute, we see our lion's share of macular degeneration, don't we?
We do, and we see it at all stages, and patients come in not necessarily in the early stage. They can come in not even knowing they have it, and we do have to be careful of it, like he said, going from the different stages into advancing. So the sooner we catch it, the better. And then there's only so much we can monitor. We can only see the patient so many times a year. And this is a new way where the patient can have that level of comfort at home, knowing that they can monitor it every day. And if there is a change, it's going to pick it up. So it gives that patient a little bit more peace of mind and also confidence in the things that we're doing. Like we always recommend that good nutrition and the good supplements, and knowing that they're working, and it gives them just that power of empowering themselves that they are taking care of their eyes.
Right. And with that, I'm going to mention that the macular defense formula, Fortify Macular Defense, especially the zinc free and the Fortify Complete, were on back order for about a month. So I apologize. It's become a very popular product, but it is in now. So Fortify Macular Defense, next gen macular defense, zinc free, and the Fortify Complete, which is advanced nutrition for the eye and body, are both in, and you can go to fortify.com. That's FORTIFEYE, fortify.com. And you can call Fortify Vitamins. Actually, during the show, Charlene will be answering the phones. So let me give you the phone number for Fortify Vitamins. It's 866 503 9746. That's 866 503 9746. And remember, you can learn about the science behind these supplements. Anytime we put something together, we use only evidence-based supplements. They're all FDA approved supplements, and we do the science, we do the research before we combine them. And you can go to the science section under each supplement to see why we developed a product the way we did. So once again, that's fortify.com. That's the Fortify Macular Defense, the zinc-free Macular Defense, and the Complete. And we're going to talk in a minute about which one, when you need the zinc and when you don't need the zinc. But also I want to mention November 16th is our fall festival, and maybe Foresee Home will be out there with the booth set up.
Never can tell. Could be.
November 16th, Fall Festival at the Lange Eye Institute. We have it every year. We usually have 6,000 people show up. So it's a big event. We're going to have music. We're going to have food. We're going to have huge discounts on Fortify Vitamins and on frames, and the doctors will be there. We have a lot of fun. So put that on your calendar. November 16th. That's from about 10 in the morning or 11 o'clock until 3 in the afternoon. The public is invited. You don't have to be a patient of ours. We're also expanding the Lange Eye Institute. Since we've had Dr. Summerton join the team, we've been really even busier than before, and I need more room. So the dentist with VIP Dentistry, that's Dr. Angela Emmerich, is opening her own private practice just up the street, a gorgeous place. I remember we built out her suite for her. It's about 5,000 square feet 18 years ago or so. And so now we're going to take that space back over. It's a gorgeous space, mahogany floors, looks really amazing. We're going to do some fine tuning. We're going to come in with a construction crew and redo it a little bit. But we're going to have 9 more examination lanes, and we got some state-of-the-art equipment we're investing in. So the Lange Eye Institute, we're expanding to almost the entire bottom floor at the Lange Eye Institute. So wanted to mention that. Also, the vegan super protein is in. I mentioned that a few weeks ago, and it's become a big hit for all of you vegans that listen to this show. Remember, until recently, there wasn't a vegan protein that wasn't chalky and grainy tasting. And now there is a vegan protein that is smooth and creamy. It comes in vanilla, chocolate, salted caramel mocha, and it's got a PDCAAS score of 1. That means it's similar to milk and whey, and it's amino acid profile. And it's what we call upcycled, because we take the beer industry's barley and we got upcycled barley that's sprouted. We have sprouted non-GMO pea protein, and we add something called velocitol. We were talking about protein, Kenny, with you just when we came in, and you're taking our whey protein now.
That's correct.
Right?
Yep.
And
I am.
We talked about how our diet today, most people out there are just not eating the correct foods. They're eating a lot of garbage, and you wonder why disease is so poor. When you think about it, if you ask somebody what was their breakfast they had, a bowl of this colorful cereal with lots
it
of
looks
sugar,
pretty.
or a bagel, a piece of toast.
Yeah.
Nobody's having protein.
Right. Yeah. The diet is so critical to all aspects of life, but for AMD patients, really for anything. I mean, the chronic disease in the country is so outrageous and out of control, and it's a lot of it is people are just now starting to wake up to it, is what I find, and which is great. But the proper nutrition, proper supplementation, all of those different types of things that's baseline stuff. I mean, you've got to do that, and because if not, you're going to pay the price. It's going to happen. It's not a matter of if, it's when. And so the sooner that, but the good news is with your diet, if it's never too late, you can clean it up,
Right.
and you will start to feel better immediately in all different systems of your body, and including vision. So those things we're big believers in that, and more of a holistic approach to the disease.
Amen.
It's not just identify and write a script or whatever. That's not what we want. It's really, we need to take a look at, and that's why I appreciate your office so much. We work best with offices that have that type of approach, very medically minded, with the patient's well-being in mind. Because if we don't fix, starting with the diet, the rest of it is we're just treating symptoms,
Right.
and that's really the mindset we're trying to get away from. And so to really these sorts of products that are specific, and you've got a great line of products, are so beneficial to people, and hopefully that message will continue to spread.
And it's a good idea to see doctors that kind of practice what they preach. Dr. Summerton, myself,
Yeah.
we're all athletes, all right? We all try to practice what I preach. And Dr. Summerton, I want you to chime in how important protein really is, especially with weight loss, because so many people out there thinking they shouldn't eat anything to lose weight. And that's really not the case, is it?
Right, because when you are losing weight, we know we're cutting calories, but that tends to involve cutting all food. And if we're not getting that protein, then we may be losing muscle weight. And that's not what we want to lose. We definitely want to lose the fat. And so we have to really focus on primarily getting that protein along with the fruits and vegetables. But we do know that's that one thing, like the new GLP receptors, people are losing that muscle. But really, they've got to concentrate on getting those good quality calories from the protein, and then they can prevent that muscle loss along with doing the exercise, because we need to have the energy while you're losing the weight to get up, whether it's do something simple as just taking a walk or going to the gym and doing that nice resistance training to maintain it. I was actually reading a study this morning, and they were saying if you, in your 40 to 50s, you need to, as women, be able to carry 75% of your weight in dumbbells for 1 minute. Men in the 40s to 50s have to carry 100% of the weight. If you can do that in your 40s to 50s, then that leads you what they call enabling to do in your last decade of life the things that you need to do, such as open jars and carry a milk carton and things like that. So we're looking at the big picture of not just now, we want your future to be strong and be independent and have a healthy body and brain.
Yeah.
Amen.
Agreed.
And we talk about all this because patients that have macular degeneration, this is so important for them. Remember, macular degeneration is the most common cause of vision loss and legal blindness in the country over 50. All right. I said legal blindness, not total blindness. And so there's basically two types of macular degeneration. We have the dry or non-exudative form, or the wet or exudative form of macular degeneration. And really the key is early detection. We want to initiate all the things we're going to talk about in this program early when you have the dry form of macular degeneration, to just maybe help decrease the possibility of it turning into the wet form of macular degeneration. So really we have, I like to say, three forms of dry macular degeneration. I don't know if I'm correct, but early, intermediate, and advanced. And this is when you have small yellow fatty deposits called drusen in your retina. And we can gauge the severity of the macular degeneration based on the size of these drusen and the amount of these drusen. They cause something called PEDs, or pigmented epithelial detachments, that we see very easily with something called OCT technology. So if you have macular degeneration, make sure your doctor has an OCT unit. That stands for optical coherence tomography. And most doctors should have that these days. And so we want to make sure that we do everything we can to help prevent this dry form turning into the wet form. There's also a form called geographic atrophy, which has a big scar in the center of your macula. And these type of degenerations are when an age-related degeneration affects the center of your retina, known as the macula, and this is where the cones are housed. And the cones are responsible for your color vision, your central vision, and we want to nutrify these cones. So I always preach to my patients there's a few specific foods they should eat. Dark green leafy vegetables, but not spinach because it's very high in oxalates. So baby leaf kale is my favorite. Very high in lutein, hardly no oxalates. Orange bell peppers, very high in zeaxanthin. Goji berries, high in zeaxanthin. Wild Alaskan salmon, high in astaxanthin. All of these cross the blood-retinal barrier and the blood-brain barrier. So they're not only good for the retina, they're good for the brain too. And then eggs. There's a study out there that shows that if you eat 4 eggs a week, it decreases the chance of you having advancing macular degeneration. And then my favorite fruit is blueberries. So if we eat all of these on a daily or daily, if you eat a lot of this, basically, maybe it will decrease the chance of you developing macular degeneration or advancing the early to the intermediate and the advanced. And let's face it, most of us are not going to do that. And that's where the supplements come in. What do you think, Dr. Summerton? Are all our patients eating all those foods the way they should, or should they be supplementing?
Of course they are. Come on.
we wish we were, but even if we try to do that, they just don't contain as much as they used to because they're just not as quality. And that's part of the reason for organic. You're not only getting rid of pesticides, but you're getting more concentration of those nutrients. But even with that, I know even myself, I'm very conscious of what I'm eating. It's still very difficult to get. And the average person is like less than 1 milligram a day. So we got to supplement, not substitute. We got to supplement what we're not getting in our diet. We still need to eat them and also be conscious a little. I don't know if we've mentioned this before. They are fat soluble. So I know when I take my personal supplement, I take our Focus, which has the lutein, the zeaxanthin, and the astin daily. I actually take it with my fish oil at the same time, which is a little fat that helps the absorption. And I take it with food when I eat because I want to maximize what I'm doing. I want to make sure I'm getting the appropriate supplement, but I also want to make sure my body is absorbing it. So with a fat soluble vitamin and with food.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Food is very good.
That's important. Yep.
And once again, you're listening to Ask the Doctors and Kenny Frye.
Yeah.
So give us a call. I'm going to give you the phone number. We are live today. A lot of times we don't get any phone calls after I've run a tape 2 times because they think we're not live. Anyway, the phone number is 1-877-969-8600. That's 1-877-969-8600. We got a lot of people with macular degeneration that listen to the show, a lot that are significantly vision impaired, so they can listen. They might not be watching us on social media, but we are live video streaming all over the world, and we're coast to coast right now. So it's actually good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, just depending on what part of the globe you're watching and listening to us. And once again, it's Dr. Susan Summerton, who's not only a board-certified optometric physician, she's also a certified nutritional specialist, and she's fellowship trained in 2 other arenas in nutrition. And I'm also an optometric physician, certified nutritional specialist, and have degrees in psychology and physiological optics. So who better than answer these questions? And then we've got the territory account manager of Florida, Kenny Frye, also an athlete, and he practices what he preaches. And we're talking about early detection of macular degeneration. So once again, give us a holler, 1-877-969-8600. So when we're talking about diets, there's a lot of good diets out there. The Mediterranean diet, the paleo diet, the plant paradox diet. I didn't mention the carnivore diet, and I didn't mention the keto diet. I like those diets to be used if you want to lose weight fast, but I don't like those diets for long term. Now, you can be on that long term as long as you take some specific supplements, because when you only eat protein, you are going to be deficient in some things, contrary to what some of you people think. So there are ways of being on these diets with supplements, then you can still do quite well. But remember, macular degeneration, I like to say, is a nutritionally responsive disease. I created a diet called the Lange Survival Diet. I worked on it for years and years. I suggest you Google that, go to Lange Survival Diet, and you can see it'll pop up. It'll tell you exactly what to eat, what not to eat, and why. And it'll give you some recipes and show you some pictures of meals that we've actually prepared. So remember, that is crucial for macular degeneration. Proper diet, and then proper supplementation, exercise, weight management, wearing sunglasses out in the sun, blue filtering lenses when you're indoors to help protect you from the harmful blue light from the computer screen and your iPhone. And then obviously seeing your optometrist, your optometric physician, your ophthalmologist per their instructions. But let's talk about this before we take the first call. In the olden days, which was just yesterday, we would use something called an Amsler grid. And Dr. Summerton, we still give Amsler grids to our patients, don't we?
We do. And if patients have macular degeneration, they probably know what we're talking about. It's this little square that has all the lines and this dot in the middle. And we have the patient one eye at a time look at it for any changes and looking for any what we call metamorphopsia, which where the lines would be missing or wave to it. But it's what we've been doing for a very, very long time. However, just like everything with time, we come up with a better way to do it. And that's what we're talking about and now using with this new technology is for basically to upgrade that and have a patient do. It's almost like a fun little video game that they can do. It takes less than a minute and it's going to pick up that metamorphopsia. So any little subtle changes they've had in that central vision. And we all know we've got to have that good central vision to really read, to watch TV, to see who's walking through the door. So we want to do all we can. And we've looked into, and this is the latest and greatest way that we can help our patients.
Right. And it's called Foresee Home AMD monitoring program. And I'm going to chime in on something I might not be right, but Kenny will tell me if I'm right or not. We want to maintain functional vision, basically 20/40 better vision, 20/30. I mean, basically, we don't want your vision to get worse.
Yep.
But there's some studies and some science, I think, that proves that maintaining this functional vision, you got a 34% chance of not getting any worse if you're using the Amsler grid. But I think the number's like 84% chance of not getting worse if you're monitoring with the Home Foresee machine.
Yeah, it's a little over 90% as far as the efficacy of it, and the way that our device really works, as Dr. Summerton said, it's almost like a digital Amsler grid with the way it monitors the central 14 degree of the macula, because that central vision, unlike like glaucoma, where they lose their vision from the periphery in, this one is, in my opinion, worse, simply because you're losing that central vision. And so that's really, and the longer this disease goes, especially untreated or unmonitored, the more likely the chance of that. And so that's really where this early detection and all of this comes into play, where the Amsler grid was made in World War II. And it's probably, and doctor, you could correct me, it's probably the only discipline of medicine that still, as standard of care, has a device or a protocol from World War II. I mean, it really is. And that's unfortunate. Whereas ours will use artificial intelligence that is specific to that patient to form a baseline of their results. And it actually generates that metamorphopsia map that Dr. Summerton had mentioned, so that the doctors can know exactly where to drill down when and if an alert happens with your OCT. So we know where's the hot spot, what are we looking at, and the difference is substantial. The average patient, when they start getting the injections, and that's when it went to advanced AMD, that's wet, their visual acuity is 20/80 plus on average. Well, in Florida, 20/70 is legally blind, as far as you can't drive. So, but with us, it's 20/30 plus. It's 4 to 5 lines of improvement, because as soon as the patient goes out of the norm, an alert is generated and sent directly to our monitoring center. and to the doctor's office, as well as to even my clinical accounts managers out in the field, to get that patient in as quickly as possible, because we know something is going on structurally. It could be a bleed, it could be a drusen shift, we don't know. But we want to get that patient back in to see the doctor as quickly as possible so that you can then determine what is going on, because it helps us to send that patient to retina at exactly the right time. As you know, Dr. Lange, Dr. Summerton, retina is so overwhelmed, especially in Florida. They're so busy that we don't want to send the patients too soon, which is why the OCT is so important to have in the doctor's office. And you do need to be in an office where they have all that. And that's the Lange Institute has all the toys. So you've got all the latest and greatest, which is great. And that works perfectly for who we're trying to partner with, because we want to get that patient not too soon to retina, because then they're mad. And you definitely don't want to send them too late, because then it's like, you should have been here weeks ago. Well, there's no way that the doctor could have known. And so we want to get them there right on time, so that if a patient comes in, that visual acuity, because typically we get them when they're still at 20/20, 20/30, 20/40, really anybody that's 20/60 or better, we can monitor. So if they're getting an injection in one eye, the other eye, called the fellow eye, that's the one we want to monitor. That's their spare tire that lets them drive.
And this technology actually picks it up so much faster than you can pick it up just looking down the road at a tree or something.
We often have what are called subclinical catches.
Right.
So we had one just a few weeks ago where the patient was 20/15.
Yeah.
But the device, alerted the office. The doctor brought him in, and it was a subclinical, and he was like, that bleed was there. And that is what we want. We want the best possible outcome for these patients. So this early detection is crucial. And the doctors that get it are really providing the best possible care for the leading cause of legal blindness in the country.
Now, are there many doctors yet using this in the Village area? Or are we one of the first?
No, you're going to be one of the first, because when we took it over, there's a few, but yours, we're trying to use you as a flagship, just to be honest. And kind of, because we've done all kinds of things, because we're also trying to help the practice. So what we do is when we're talking to the patient, we're like an extension of your practice in their home. That this device is going to communicate directly with your office and with our monitoring center, right? And so we've done different things, like on our website, we're trying to figure out a way to help educate the patients about, it's severe, because if they Google doc themselves, they see leading cause of blindness, they go crazy, some of them, right? So we want to, kind of cool that jet a little bit, but we also want them to understand that this is important. So the nutrition part we talked about, the early detection, there's little things you can do, and it doesn't take a lot of time. Like Dr. Summerton said, this takes a minute and a half to do this test. So by doing so, that's going to allow those better outcomes, because that's what we want. So even on our website, we're talking about now putting together, and I think it's kind of up and running. I don't know how robust it is yet, but a doctor finder. So someone in the villages who hears something like this, a conversation about AMD, that they can type in where they are, and it's going to pull those doctors that have partnered with us in that area up.
And
that they can see it.
Notalvision.com?
Yeah, notalvision.com. Notal vision.com.
All right, folks, correct. You hear that? Notalvision.com. Check it out. But we like partnering with companies like Notal Vision, because it's all about patient care.
That's
we want to have the most advanced technology to help our patients. All right, we're going to go to the first phone. Let's go to the phones. Let's see. Steve's been waiting patiently. Good morning, Steve. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, could this be used for a more broad-based thing, whereas it seems to me that some of the same physiological changes you're detecting could be indicating a stroke coming on, or other type of neurological problems, so that even though it would primarily detect macular degeneration problems, you'd have some secondary things that you should have the primary physician check out when they get this.
Yeah, you can. It's indicated. It's covered by Medicare Advantage, almost all the major plans, right? So with it, the only indication that we have, and like all of our studies and everything that we've done, is for intermediate dry AMD. That's what it's for. However, it is a metamorphopsia detector. So any sort of structural change. So doctors can prescribe it, because it has to come through your doctor, like through an e-script. Doctors can't prescribe it for what's called off-label use. And off-label use would mean that the patient would be paying for the monitoring of that, of the Foresee Home device out of pocket. Now, it's only $77.80, so it's not that much, but that's really up to the physician. We do have some physicians that use our technology, but again, that's called off-label. So it's not going to be covered by insurance and all that. And again, all of our studies and all of the information that we have on our website and all of the testimonials and all of that has to do specifically with intermediate dry AMD. But it is a metamorphopsia detector. It's picking up structural changes of all kinds in there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's an interesting coincidence that your last name is Frye. Is that correct?
It's Frye, Frye.
And
correct.
one of the major causes of macular degeneration is blue light frying the retina. So
I guess I'm
think
in the
that
right industry, right?
Yes, you should make your calling cards make a middle name detect.
I should.
And so Kenny detect Frye.
That's it. That's right. That's right. I should be wearing the blue blocker glasses too right now. So yeah, that's right.
Dr. Lange knows I come up with a lot of weird
Yeah,
stuff.
that's good. No, that's good. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, God bless you, and thank you for your doing God's work.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Have a
Okay.
good one. All right, you're listening to Ask the Doctor this morning. Give us a call at 1-877-969-8600. That's 1-877-969-8600. Dr. Susan Summerton, myself, Dr. Michael Lange, and Kenny Frye, Territory Account Manager in Florida for Notal Vision. Any questions at all regarding your vision, eye care, and nutrition, you can give us a call at September 14th. So this is a live show, 2024, 1-877-969-8600. Last time, 1-877-969-8600. I also want to mention I planted the seed, a few weeks back. We're working on a prototype of a weight loss pill, maybe to compete against things like these GLP-1 receptor drugs. That's natural, that won't be very expensive, of probably $30. All right. So not too expensive. So we finally got the prototype and in a vegan capsule. I started it yesterday because I'm the first guinea pig always.
You're the guinea pig
And
for this?
If I don't
All
die,
right.
I give it to my wife and the kids and my mother and my mother-in-law, and then give it to my friends before we do a pilot study. But we're going to do a small pilot study here very, very soon. And so we may very well have a weight loss pill, a natural weight loss pill available with a Fortify label over the next 3 to 4 months. And I got to tell you, I took it in the morning when I woke up, and then I did a little exercise for about an hour of cardio. And then I didn't even want to eat breakfast, but I know how crucial protein is. So I had a Fortify protein shake. I put a half a banana and a little pineapple with my Fortify grass-fed whey isolate. So that wasn't many calories. And at lunchtime, I wasn't very hungry. So I had a small high protein lunch, a can of tuna fish and some celery on a bed of kale.
Oh, wow.
And then for supper, I took an hour before supper. My wife brought the most delicious supper home, steamed chicken and Brussels sprouts and asparagus and shrimp. And I'm allergic to shrimp, so I just looked at the shrimp. I didn't eat them. But I would usually eat the whole thing. I ate a quarter of it, and I had a quarter of that for breakfast this morning. I'm going to have a quarter of it for lunch. So I want to take off about 15 pounds. And, I lost 1 pound already. So,
Wow.
who knows? Remember, weight management is crucial for all of you listening to this, especially with macular degeneration.
Yeah.
The number one thing you can do if you have macular degeneration and you're overweight is get down to your ideal body weight. And that's also the number one thing you can do for overall health. All right, we're getting loaded up, so we got to go to this call. We got about 4 people on hold. Let's go to, I think, Joel in Ocala. Joel, good morning. Thanks for holding.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
All right. How are you?
Real well, real well. Got a question. I had surgery on my macular where they removed some scar tissue to help stop the wavy lines. That did not work. I'm noticing my other eye is starting to do the same thing now. And I was thinking, is there such a machine, or can you design an eyeglass grinder to have the opposite effect of the waves? Because my left eye, the wave goes up, my right eye, the wave goes down, so I have double vision. And I was thinking if that's something that will never leave me the rest of my life. I'll be 70 years old here in a couple days. Can we grind a pair of glasses that will make those lines straight
That's a great question. All right, so you're developing this what we call central metaphormopsia. It's related to what we call an epiretinal membrane, macula pucker, cellophane maculopathy. 3 names for something meaning a wrinkle in your retina. And you had a surgical procedure where they did an epiretinal membrane peel, and your vision is never perfect. Before or after this, you have some distortion, like you said, and you have some ghost images, and you're getting double vision. So absolutely. So we deal with this, Dr. Summerton and I, daily. You need to find a doctor. Whether or not you come to the Lange Eye Institute and see one of us is up to you, or somebody in town in Ocala that is in tune with prism. All right. You got to have a prismatic refraction. And that's where they bend the light with prism that is ground into your lenses to bend the light so you don't get this double vision. And sometimes if we're not sure if it's going to work, we do press on. It's called Fresnel prism, and we press them onto your current glasses. And that way you can kind of test drive it first to see if it's going to work before you spend the big bucks on say, a progressive lens that has prism in it. But absolutely, you got to find a doctor that's in tune with doing prism refractions, and we should be able to hopefully get you to have binocular vision and no double vision.
Yeah, that'd be great. My eyes, I don't wear glasses. I'm 20/20.
Right.
But so no, I'll definitely look into you folks. It was a fluke. I just happened to flip the channel, and I've been listening to you for several minutes now, and I've written a lot of stuff down. So thank you so much.
That's
probably changed my life. Thank you.
Joe, what I would also be doing is eating the foods we talked about: more baby leaf kale, orange bell peppers, a wild Alaskan salmon, eggs, and blueberries. Eating those foods can kind of support macular health. And then think about this, just write this down: Fortify Focus. It has those 3 carotenoids in it. And if you don't get Fortify Focus, go to the website at fortify.com, look at the ingredient profile, and you can find a supplement that's similar that has lutein, zeaxanthin, and astaxanthin. These are not miracle cures. They're not treatments, but it's giving you the fuel that God wants you to have in your retina. Okay?
Yeah.
Excellent. I'm going to look into you folks and make an appointment. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Joel.
That's great.
And Dr. Summerton, you want to chime in about that? We see a lot of these patients with epiretinal membranes, don't we?
We do. We see them all the time, and it could be one eye, it could be both eyes. But the good news for most people out there, they don't need surgery, but that's what we monitor them for, basically on their vision. And it is sort of like a little saran wrap that goes over the macula. It is not macular degeneration, but it is over the macula and does give you kind of similar symptoms that he's experiencing. And also, even it could be something as simple as having a little astigmatism there that can cause a little what we call ghost imaging and make it feel like you're seeing double. So we check for that. You still might be 20/20 and able to read that chart, but it could be something just splitting that image a little bit, that all we need to do is just align it with glasses and make just that little bit of difference to get that person that quality of life they're looking for.
Right. And a lot of doctors just don't understand prism. And a lot of doctors don't want to do it. And if they don't want to do it, you probably shouldn't see that doctor. But we've got the technology at the Lange Eye Institute in the Villages, Florida, to do all of this. I'm going to give you the phone number for the Lange Eye Institute. So it's 352-753-4014. 352-753-4014. And if you're interested in looking in the Fortify Focus, go to the website at fortify.com. That's FORTIFEYE, fortify.com. Or you can call toll free. I'll give you the toll free number. Charlene's answering the phones for Fortify Vitamins, 866-503-9746. We're going back to the phones now. Joe's been waiting patiently in Kingston. Joe, thanks for holding, my friend. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Yeah, I was wanting to ask about RA in your eyes. My rheumatologist told me I need to get an exam for RA with an eye doctor. Can you tell me anything about that?
Well, absolutely. So RA, or rheumatoid arthritis, is a systemic illness, okay? It's an inflammatory disease. And so many forms of collagen vascular diseases and autoimmune diseases, including RA, can actually manifest in the eye. And this is why it's crucial to see doctors that are really in tune with this. And I like having an optomap done. An optomap looks at the entire peripheral retina. So we're looking for telltale signs of inflammation in the retina, in the arteries, in the veins, in the nerve fiber layer, in the anterior chamber, in the cornea. So arthritis or rheumatoid arthritis can manifest in the eye in a whole abundant of ways. I mean, anything from just severe dryness of the eye, Sjogren's syndrome, dry eye, to uveitis, iritis, scleritis, conjunctivitis, episcleritis, retinitis, vitritis. So all the itises, Joe, are inflammatory responses in the eye. And so oftentimes, if we see patients with this, we'll send them to a rheumatologist for a complete workup, and we find out that they have a rheumatoid arthritis, or they may have something like lupus or sarcoid or fibromyalgia, or even something like Lyme's disease sometimes that manifests in the eye. So remember, the eye is the window to the body. And Dr. Summerton is an expert in this arena, and this is what we deal with all day long. Remember, the average age patient we see in the village is probably 80 years of age. And remember, when you hit 80, just about everybody 80 has some arthritis going on. Joe, you got a little arthritis, right?
I got a lot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, my hands and knees and shoulders swell up.
So let me tell you something just naturally. My daughter has had 3 autoimmune diseases, and she's still a world-class volleyball player. And she was on, they wanted to put her on prednisone. They put her on methotrexate. They put her on hydroxychloroquine and naproxen, and she wasn't doing so hot on that. And I put her on something that we developed called Omega Relief. And all it is a triglyceride form of omega-3 called Fortify Super Omega. She takes 2 a day, and she takes one of our next-gen curcumins. It has something called curcumin in it. Those 2 combined together are natural anti-inflammatories. They work very well for people with inflammation in their body, including rheumatoid arthritis. They're not a cure. They're not a treatment. They don't replace what you're doing. But sometimes, like I said, God made a pretty good body if we give it the right fuel. So consider a good triglyceride form omega-3. Consider a good form of curcumin, and then an anti-inflammatory diet, okay? Yeah. Like the Lange survival diet. And here's the kicker. We talked about this with macular degeneration. Weight management is crucial. If you're overweight, then inflammation goes crazy in your body. And remember, if you have arthritis in your joints, your knees, for every pound of you're overweight, it's 4 pounds on your knee and 6 pounds on your ankle. So same thing with arthritis and macular degeneration. You got to get down to your ideal body weight.
Yep.
Okay. Where would be a good place for me to find an eye doctor to give me all these tests?
Where are you located?
In Palatka, basically.
Palatka. All right, that's not that far. It's a hop, skip, and a jump to the Lange Eye Institute.
Oh yeah.
So we have a lot of people from Palatka that come to the Lange Eye Institute. I used to have practices in Gainesville and Ocala, and then they come hang out and go to some of the nice restaurants in the villages. So we'll be happy to see you at the Lange Eye Institute. We have everything we need. I'm sure there's some other doctors, in that area, but not that host asked the doctor and don't have the personality and the looks of Dr. Summerton.
That's exactly right.
Well, I can't drive till I'm actually legally blind.
Okay. So you'd have to get somebody to drive you then. No matter where you go, you're going to have somebody drive you, right?
Yeah, I have to have somebody drive me, period.
Well, we'd be happy to see you in the Lange Eye Institute, and then we could research, depending on what things look like, then we could refer you to somebody much closer to do the rest of your follow-up. But without seeing you, I don't know if you need to see, a fellowship-trained retina specialist versus a different type of specialist. So think about that. Just think about coming down to the Lange Eye Institute, and we'll take good care of you.
Make that happen. Yeah, I got optic nerve problem too, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you could have something going on, either glaucoma, ischemic optic neuropathy, something of this nature. But we don't leave any stone unturned, and we'll go over everything in detail. And I guarantee, that's my New Orleans accent coming out. After you see us, you'll at least know what's going on in your eye and what the possibilities are.
Yeah, I've been listening to you for 20 years. I just took the notion to call and got through.
There you go.
It's time to come see us.
Yeah, I'll see if I can get a ride. I would love to come see you.
You can bribe them with lunch at the villages.
There you go.
Right? Plenty of places to eat there.
Okay. Well, that'll work.
See?
I appreciate the information. You went way over my head, but.
All right. Well, Joe, we look forward to seeing you in the future, either me or Dr. Summerton.
Okay. Thank you. It's easy to get an appointment.
Absolutely. And you can tell them you heard us on the radio show, and if they say Dr. Lange's booked up for 3 to 4 months, just say Dr. Lange said that he would work you in, whatever's convenient for you, as long as I'm there or Dr. Summerton's there, okay?
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right, Joe. Take care. Dr. Summerton, we deal with collagen vascular diseases and autoimmune diseases every day. That's like the nature of our practice, isn't it?
We do, and it really all comes down to the inflammation, and that if your doctor tells you they describe something that has itis on the end of it, then you have inflammation. And so the basics and what you say, we do use omega-3 fish oil and the turmeric a lot for the eyes and macular degeneration, because we know the fish oil omega-3 triglyceride form helps macular degeneration. And we know that turmeric, the curcumin, can actually shrink those grooves in. But when we're giving our patients that and we're looking at their eyes, they also come back with feedback for us. And we love hearing these stories, how not only, their eyes are good, but also their shoulder pain went away or their knee pain went away. And so this is affecting the whole body, and those side effects are actually really side benefits they're getting from it. And we just love to hear that they're getting more benefits than just their eyes.
Right.
You really eat your medicine.
Right. And we're big advocates of the least amount of medication, the least amount of surgery that gets the job done.
Yep.
Of course, we prescribe medications and recommend surgery all the time, but we try to go that extra mile, kind of a holistic, integrative, complementary type of eye care. All right, let's go back to the phones. I think Dennis has been waiting for a good while. Dennis in Gainesville, good morning. Welcome to the program.
Good morning to you, sir.
How are you?
Fine.
What can I do for you?
I got retinal detachment in my right eye, and I can't see no more in it.
No.
Right. And what about the left eye?
The left eye is weak. I got vision in the left eye. It's not good. I mean, it's not good. I mean, I still wear glasses,
Right.
To help me see.
All right. So
out of the left eye?
Are you totally blind in the right eye?
Yes, sir. Totally blind. I can't. My retinal detached a long time ago.
Right.
Anymore.
So now, since you only have one good eye, you definitely have to take a preventative approach. When you have glasses made, I would make sure they're made out of polycarbonate lenses. Those are impact resistant lenses. Okay. And then obviously I don't know your, what you do socially and athletically, but I'd be very careful about doing anything that potentially could have impact to your eye. No kickboxing, no barroom brawls, nothing like this. The same thing we've been talking about, Dr. Summerton, myself, and Kenny, about, exercise, eating the right foods, the right diet, weight management, because you got to take a strong preventative approach to keep anything negative happening to that other eye. How old are you?
I'm 60.
60?
Yes.
Yeah, you got another 50 years ahead of you, 110. So remember, glasses, make sure that polycarbonate lenses, okay? And preferably,
if I can remember it, I can remember. I don't know. I might not. I got it now, but I can't remember it long.
Or just remember, when you go get glasses, tell them you want the glasses that don't break, that don't shatter. All right?
It's made of plastic.
Right. It's made of a special type of polymer, a special type of plastic. Anybody with only one eye, they have to wear those type of glasses, okay? No contact lenses for you, just glasses that act as protective eyewear. And then make sure you see your optometrist or ophthalmologist routinely per their instructions, because they can detect any problem in the early stages. And for you, especially with one eye, have an optomap done, okay? And with that, we're about out of time, Dennis, so we'll talk again another time, okay? All right, Dennis, you take care of yourself.
Before you go?
Well, we're running out of time. We got a minute left. We got to close, okay?
Well, all right. Will I be able to see it in my right eye sometimes in the future?
Yes, I would love to see you in the future.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So call and set up an appointment to come to the Lange Eye Institute. Either me or Dr. Summerton will see you anytime, okay?
Where's you located, the Lange Eye Institute? That's in Ocala?
That's in the Villages, yeah, just south of Ocala. Okay?
Oh, you want no appointment necessary? Just come?
No, you call ahead of time.
You know what the number is?
That's 352-753-4014. All right, we got to go. Thanks for tuning in. Kenny, thanks for being a guest and talking about Foresee Home
I appreciate
monitoring system. Anybody with macular degeneration, come to the Lange Eye Institute, and we can hook you up with this new system. Dr. Summerton, you got 10 seconds to say goodbye.
Thank you, everyone, for listening, and have a blessed day.
All right. Once again, Kenny, thanks a lot. Tell everybody
Thanks for having us. Have a great day.
All right. Remember, if you're not happy with the eye care you're getting, get a second opinion. You can always come to the Lange Eye Institute. See ya, and God bless you.